Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm MC5DAstrology and Tarot, and thank you for coming to catch a vibe with me. If you haven't already, make sure you like, subscribe, and share the channel and turn on your post notification bells if you feel that this information or a message resonates for you. I do read for a collective group of people, so these messages may or may not pertain to you. These messages are also timeless. There's no such thing as time. So the message could have already happened. You could be going through this now, or it is just a pre-warning about what is to come based upon what you're already going through. So again, take what applies to you and leave the rest behind. So you guys, collective, I am seeing right now that seems like everyone is out of whack within a union. And I'm all about the internal union within our own Kabbalah tree. So something is going on with your inner feminine and masculine energy, and your inner feminine energy is trying to get your inner masculine's attention. So right now it is sending the Knight of Cups. Your Queen of Swords is sending its inner child, the masculine of its inner child, to your inner masculine, okay, your inner divine masculine. And I see that there is going to be a reconnection, a reunion. It seems as if you guys keep going back and forth regarding your heart space when it comes to some type of relationship, because we have the Eight of Cups in reverse. So it seems like somebody doesn't want to give up on something. Somebody doesn't know how to let something go when it comes to working on something, because we have the Eight of Pentacles. So with both of those eights being together, that is infinity, but it is showing me that something regarding on what you're working towards, what you deem as important, it's not moving as fast as you would like, or it just has to do with the emotional connection within that union is off, okay? And so it is time to actually start utilizing your mind and understanding, getting some type of clarity. So communication coming from a heartfelt space is very important at this time. I'm also seeing the need for two people in a union to learn how to be independent and to thrive in a union, with knowing that everything doesn't happen overnight, okay? Every union is different. Every person, individual, is very different. So it takes time to build and to harvest things. A lot of us, we live in a world, you guys, you got to be mindful, where society teaches us about instant gratification. We have too many social media platforms, news outlets, media outlets that give us a false narrative about relationships in general. It doesn't even have to be romantic. It can just be platonic. But as you know, I always speak of platonic and romantic relationships really being one, all right? So it is important right now for someone, it looks like someone needs to take a break emotionally. Someone emotionally has checked out, okay? And they are continually to work, and it looks like this person is just consuming themselves and working. But the thing is, just because you consume yourself with something else doesn't mean that you're making progress, right? So I just see a union coming to an end, or a union that is not where it needs to be, or there's been some type of issue within a union, okay? And so instead of communicating what's going on or bringing some type of closure or resolution, I see one or the other party consuming themselves with something in the materialistic world. However, I see whatever it is with the Devil in reverse underneath the Lover's card in reverse and the Queen of Swords upright, there is no true attachment. You're not actually giving the energy to the union that you need to be giving it to. You're actually giving it to the wrong things. So even though this is occurring, what's happening is the divine is actually pushing issues in the way of both of you to get your attention so you can come back in union. And what I mean by that is, for instance, say you had an argument with someone you care about and love, whether it's romantic or platonic, okay? So you guys had some type of separation. The divine is pushing some type of communication to come in, but they had to do that separation in order for some type of clarity to come in about the situation. Someone was looking at something wrong, or someone didn't see something that they did or the part that they played, and now something has changed, okay? So say, for instance, in order, you know how society teaches us, just get under someone new and you'll forget about the old. That is not healthy. That is not true. So there's a third party situation going on. on, but third party just has to do with what am I going to occupy my time with right now in order for me to pretend to forget or try to forget or try to get over something that I actually have an emotional, spiritual, and mental and physical attachment to. So it depends on the energy, the person. Some people will busy themselves with work. Some people will go drink. Some people will go smoke. Some people will go do drugs. Some people will go spend a lot of money. Some people will go travel. Some people will actually take it so far as getting in low vibrational relationships with other people, pretending that they're all good and happy just so they can try to fill a void of what they need to do to heal themselves. So again, it just depends on what it is. Someone could be binge watching TV and not getting things done, you know. So however this person distracts themselves, the divine is saying that in pinnacle energy, I'm going to make whatever it is that you're doing to distract yourself move so slowly until you wake up and realize that you have an emotional disconnect within the harmony of your relationship, whether this is internal, external, or both. Take it how it applies, and you need to do something about it. Okay, you cannot busy yourself with work. You cannot busy yourself with outside forces and outside things to try to accommodate what needs to be healed, because all you're doing is adding more salt and flames to the wound and to the fire. Okay, so the good thing is that in this union, I do see that you're both very independent, but you're both very stubborn, especially with this Devil card in reverse. You guys don't know how to allow each other the type of space that is needed. So I do see with this union, you could have been dealing with someone who's very controlling or wanting things to move their way and how they want it to be moved, right? This person is very, very stubborn energy. So they could have like a fixed sign. But even with having a fixed sign, say their sun sign is a fixed sign, like a Taurus, right? We are not just our sun sign. So we're not going to use that excuse as to why someone is stubborn. If you look in your natal chart, you have other energies to help accommodate that fixed or that cardinal or that mutable energy. Okay, so I see right now a peace offering coming in with the Knight of Cups, right? With Judgment and with the Queen of Cups. Some type of union can be rebirthed because the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups is basically like the Lover's card, but in a smaller, much more unevolved union. It's just a little bit more immature compared to the actual Lover's card, okay? So right now communication needs to happen, but it's not happening. Some people also, I feel like they're shutting down because they're realizing that the communication will not go nowhere. So they're actually removing themselves out of a toxic situation, out of a toxic union for some of you guys that don't serve you, but you're still emotionally and mentally stuck and you're trying to busy yourself with work or with other things in the 3D. And the divine is saying you need to move away from that. You need to actually heal and deal with the truth, with the Six of Swords coming out here. And we also basically with the Queen of Swords and the Six of Swords, that's the Seven of Swords. Some type of, you're holding on to something. You're either holding on to something regarding you need to speak up or release something or heal from something, or you are guarded with something, or it has to do with the fact of someone not being honest or truthful, or somebody betraying you and thinking that they got away with it. The divine is saying that somebody is about to come back in and try to speak a truth, try to apologize. Somebody has learned a valuable lesson. I just see the divine working through either both of you or one of you, where the separation had to happen so the divine could really get in that person's ass, is what I just heard. Someone really needed a good spiritual ass whooping, okay? And you weren't going to be able to be the one to give it to them. A lot of the times we try to fix things, change people, or stay in a union longer than we're supposed to stay in because we want to fix something. We think that that person is for us, or we think that we can change the outcome of something. And sometimes the best thing you can do, if not all the time, is just to be quiet, just to allow the divine to do what it's supposed to do already. Because sometimes we will interfere with the karma, whether it is a good lesson or a bad lesson that is to come after the lesson you just came out of with that person, because we want to be the ones to think we know how to give the lesson. And we don't. So with Judgment here, I see someone really waving the flag, right? Someone is going through a rebirth process. Somebody is awakening and ascending into different levels. Someone is taking accountability or having to take accountability on the things that they did to this energy. So with the Queen of Cups here, I am getting an energy where this energy right here, she is really looking like she's focused, and this could be masculine or feminine energy, take it out, applies, but it's the Queen of Cups out here. This energy is just really heavily focused on her lessons. And I was about to say mistake, but the cup is never a mistake. The thing is with the cup energy, with the queen of anything, especially cup energy, you have to know if your cup is overflowing like a waterfall. If your cup is not overflowing like a waterfall, then you know you're not going to get that return. That back, your return back on investment right away. Like once you give it out, you need to be careful with going into your cup and giving anything to anyone else, because what you're showing the divine is you don't know how to do spiritual math. You don't know how to first look in your cup before things get too exciting or get to a place in a relationship or a union to see, wait a minute, what do I actually have to give this person? How much do I have to give myself? Because if your cup is not overflowing, that means you have nothing to give. But a lot of times we don't even know how to look at our own cup to see that it's not overflowing. So we continue to give. And then when we're put in situations that are lessons to help us understand we had nothing to give to begin with, we're looking at the other person as if they did something wrong to us, right? We're not looking at ourselves or taking accountability for the fact of the matter is you were not where you needed to be emotionally, mentally, or spiritually in order to act out that emotion, that mental, that spiritual connection in the physical and actually harvest or manifest something in the physical. So I see some of the Queen of Cup energy in a place of, I'm taking self accountability now. They have gone through many lessons with this Eight of Cups in reverse. They have had many suitors, many options, many things, because the Eight of Cups in the reverse to me is basically the Seven of Cups upright. They're coming out of some type of illusion. They're coming out of an illusion and they're realizing that where they are mature wise when it comes to the cups, they're more of a knight. They are not a king. They are not an emperor, which lets me know it's a great energy to be in, because you are letting the universe know that you are still a student. You have so much more to learn and you are willing to learn what it needs to be learned, so you can match the Queen of Cups energy, right? And you can be in your kingship. You can be in your emperorship. So you can be the high priestess and you can breathe that magician that manifest anything of the positive. So we have the Wheel of Fortune regarding the overall advice, okay? So collective, right now, what you guys need to do is let something be where it's at. You guys have got to learn to let go and to take this new opportunity. So the Knight of Cups out here is basically the Ace of Cups. So the divine is saying, be happy that I'm not having you start back at the princess or the page stage. Be happy that you've done so much work on yourself, and give yourself some grace where even through the lesson you just went through or you're going through or about to go through, you were at the Knight of Cups. So no matter what this person did or the lesson that came in or what this person thought they had control over, they really didn't, okay? Because if you're the Knight, that means if you're evolved more than they are spiritually, they were already the page, which lets me know where they're going to start off at, okay? And that could be you. But nevertheless, the divine is saying, show yourself some grace, because you're not starting back out the Page of Cups, you're the Knight of Cups, okay? So maybe you're in the transition to becoming a King of Cups. And maybe you thought you were in that King of Cup energy, but when this lesson occurred, it showed you that you're still a knight. A knight is nothing but a student who is in the field, who applies those lessons and takes actions and acts upon it. But the Knight of Cups energy is still very, you really don't know what you want, right? You know what you like, you know certain things, but it's a very charming energy. So you're in a place, collective, where you're learning how to really be comfortable in your skin. You're learning your confidence. You're getting your self-esteem back. You're just learning about yourself. And sometimes when you're building yourself up, you can mistake that as being ready to go out into the world and get into unions and partnerships and relationships with external people, whether platonic or romantic. But what happens is you'll end up running into a challenge because you're not necessarily ready to actually go travel that type of distance, okay? Because it is Knight of Cups. So that means this particular knight has to continue to refill its cup up at a certain stop or at a certain point on its journey. And you may have taken a route where there was no streams, no rivers, no oceans, no nothing for you to fill your cup up, right? But you kept drinking out of the cup. Maybe you spilled a little bit over. Maybe again, you were giving your cup to someone else. And by the time you looked in the cup, when you really needed it, when you started to get in the mirage phase of the desert, you didn't have anything. So the divine had to come pick you up, bring you home, judgment, and make you self-reflect and rejuvenate you, okay? So your inner divine feminine and inner divine masculine, you guys, is really speaking to its inner divine feminine, inner divine masculine's inner child, okay? I'm not speaking of the inner child, the seed, but it's talking to itself regarding its own childhood and the own things that it's gone through. Some of you guys need to actually self-reflect regarding the Wheel of Fortune on things of your past, the lessons of your past, and the cycles that have been closed out, because you are going in a new phase and you're already in a new phase. And what's going to happen is either you have learned the lessons or you haven't. And it doesn't matter what you tell yourself, the universe has already made the decision. With judgment being out here, the decision's already been made. So what's going to happen is you're going to be either put back in that same classroom with different faces, with a different teacher that has a, different face, whatever, but it's the same energy within those bodies, and have to learn another lesson. Or you're going into a brand new classroom having to learn an upgraded lesson to where you just came out of, but it's still a lesson because there's some things that you still need to kind of know. So it's kind of like someone making an A. Like, I'll put this example. Say in order to go to an AP class, for the next semester, you have to have at least an A plus, an A minus. Okay. You have to have one of those things. But say for some reason, an exception to the rule was made for you because of how you just carried yourself, your other classes, and what you did in that class. So maybe you made an A, right? So you're going to that graduated level of that new class, right? You're not going to be in the same classroom. However, you still have to learn 2 lessons. You have to learn the minus of the A minus lesson. You have to learn the plus of the A plus lesson, right? So you have to take that plus and that negative, and you're going to be given the grand cross. So take the plus symbol, take the minus symbol, put the minus symbol around the cross, and around the plus sign, it's going to give you the grand cross. So therefore that gives you the Wheel of Fortune. You're in another classroom, but best believe even with those new lessons, you passed on a skim. Okay? You're in that AP class. You deserve to be there. The divine knows you can do it, but you have a lot more work to do in that level of being in that classroom, because guess what? Now you're in a brand new playing field with people who actually have an A minus or an A plus, right? So they're actually maybe a few steps ahead of you. So they're going to be able to teach you things about yourself, right? Just as being in that classroom, you're going to be able to learn from them and also be taught, but you're also going to not have to worry about going backwards to the degree of learning something all the way over from the very, very beginning. So some of you guys just depend on where you're at and what lesson you have to learn. Some of you guys are absolutely going back to that classroom because that A, your grace was just a little bit different from someone else's grace. So you're also in a season of having people look at you and around you, or you're looking at people and around people and trying to figure out how were they able to evolve or be in certain places, and you're not, because you thought you were moving the exact same way they were. But actuality, the divine keeps tabs on everyone. So the divine knows where someone is spiritually, emotionally, mentally, and how they act that out in the physical and what they do with that. Okay. So everyone's judged differently, right? Everyone, like I said, there's similar uniquenesses. No one's technically different, but we have similar uniquenesses. So with this Wheel of Fortune, you guys are really going to be in your Taurus, your Leo, your Scorpio, and your Virgo energy. Your Aquarius energy, excuse me. So you probably have that somewhere in your chart. It is really, really good to get in tune with your emotions, with Judgment being out here, because that is the Pluto card. But it's interesting because Judgment is card 20 and the Wheel of Fortune is card 10. Okay. So you guys right now have to really pay attention to the cycles. Okay. You have to pay attention to the cycles. You have to pay attention to the union within yourself. So if you guys are dealing with anybody platonic or romantic or both, however you want to put it, externally, and there are things that happen within the lesson and the season you just came out of, right? You need to ask yourself, how does that person, that external energy, mirror my own inner feminine or inner masculine? So for example, if you are a external feminine and you were dealing with an external masculine and something didn't work out, you realize some things within the union, whoop-de-woo, blah-de-blah, you need to ask yourself what it is about that person's internal masculine and feminine energy that showed up externally as their masculine energy. Since their external masculine energy, how does that resonate with my internal feminine masculine? What lessons were their internal feminine trying to give to my internal masculine? What lessons was their internal feminine trying to give to my internal feminine? And what lessons was their internal masculine trying to give to my internal masculine? And what lessons was their internal masculine trying to give to my internal feminine, right? Because you at this point should know what lessons you were meant to teach them. And if you don't know that, then that's where you need to start. You need to ask yourself, why did I come in this person's life? What was I supposed to do to help them elevate and to evolve closer to their spirit and to the divine? right? That's a very important thing to know, why you were the teacher in the classroom and they were the student. But after that, you have to ask yourself, why was I a student in their classroom? Was it because I was sent here to make sure that they learned their lesson, and it wasn't necessarily about me learning anything, but we can all learn something from someone? Maybe it was more about them getting something out of it, and the divine needed to use you to get them closer to the divine? Or was it that, hey, I asked this person to come in to teach me something, and I knew only they could do it before we got here in this lifetime? So what is it about their energy that either mirrors your energy, or it mirrors someone in your life regarding unresolved issues of energy that you need to deal with internally and externally? Okay. So it's very important that you guys start to speak your truth. You start to live in your truth, and you're not in denial about the past. Some of you guys are in deep denial about the past. Some of you guys just have to accept unions for what they are and realize that you really didn't have any type of attachment to those people, places, or things. You guys were only actually in a season, and some of these seasons actually prolonged themselves longer than they were supposed to, because it was a low vibrational when you met them. Some of you guys are not knowing how to get out of low vibrational relationships, and you want to take those low vibrational relationships into this new paradigm, but the access code is being denied. So instead of saying, hey, I gotta go, I have the code, you're still trying to figure out how you can sneak them in through your luggage. And the luggage keeps going off every time it tries to get snuck in. And the divine's like, you keep it up, I'm gonna keep you back there with them. Okay. So be mindful of being okay with letting toxicity go. Okay. And it could be a habit. It doesn't even have to be a person or relationship. It could just be, well, yeah, things with things are a form of a relationship, right? It could be that, hey, you realize, you know what? I spend way too much time on social media. I literally can be on social media for 30 minutes to an hour. That 30 minutes to an hour is a form of addiction. It's a form of building a relationship with an electronic, with a machine, where I could be utilizing that to actually join a book club or to start reading a book, right? I can actually do that, use that time for self-care. Maybe I may not have the finances right now to go get my toes and nails done, but I could literally invest, in something to do my feet every week. I could go get, those little things you can get off Amazon or whatever, and do my own toes. Maybe your toes are looking crusty right now for some of y'all. I don't know who this is for, but maybe you need to start giving more energy into yourself care routine and stop trying to worry about the external. Some of you guys need to cut out certain habits that are actually making you spend money where that money can be invested in your purpose. Some of you guys are still living in these baby cycles of the matrix, right? Where these lessons that the divine is like, you're supposed to already have graduated from this class and you're still here. Why are you still choosing to be here, collective? Some of you guys are literally 21 years old in the 3rd spiritual grade. Why? 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 You need to take that 21, make that a 3, add it to the other 3rd grade, make that infinity, make it an 8, and you need to go on about your business. Which means you're supposed to be technically 8 grades up, and you're not. Okay? You need to grow up, collective. I'm seeing right now you need to grow up. Everyone needs to grow up. Especially with the devil card being in reverse, you guys know what the issues are. And you don't even want no part of it. That's another thing for a lot of you. You guys know you don't want no part of nothing with certain things anymore, right? You're speaking and you're being in your truth. So continue to do that. Continue to live up to your own expectations. And some of you guys are, I'm going to end it here in just a second, but they want me to touch on this really quickly. It has to do with love. Oh, wow. I see the sun card at the bottom of the deck. But anyways, something's going to happen around Leo season for a lot of you guys as well, too, if you play your cards right. That's all Spirit wants me to tell you. Something's going to be illuminated for a lot of you guys. And some of you guys could actually possibly be getting pregnant around that time, or having a baby around that time for some of you. But either way, to end the reading, Spirit is wanting, if not all of you, but some of you, because some of you guys are, I'm not going to use the word jaded when it comes to compassion and open heartedness and love. It's just that you're very tough. You're Queen of Swords right now. I mean, Queen of Cups right now. You're very, very tough. You are very, very tough. And you are to the point where you have experienced so much in your life when it comes to romance. Okay? That you have literally, it's like, what's the word? It's somehow mentally you have shut down so far emotionally, and some of you guys don't even know it. It's like being like a pathological liar. They don't really even know they're lying because they lie so much and they've been doing it for so long. It slips off, it comes off, they're real quick with it. So that's what this is equivalent to, if you guys can relate. It has to do with that. It's just like you are so much in your tough feminine energy or your soft masculine energy, which is basically, again, masculine energy, but it's feminine energy, but it's just unhealthy balance of it, where the right type of suitors for you, you overlook. You don't give the time of day. You put them in a square box, but you actually know these people will be good for you, right? And or what I'm also picking up is some of you guys have something new coming in, but because of whatever just happened or has happened on this repeated cycle, that you're actually not in this old paradigm, you're in a new paradigm, but it may seem like it mirrors each other, but it doesn't. The divine's saying, I need you to keep going. I didn't bring you in a new paradigm for you to have one more lesson to make sure that you understood the bigger picture of the lessons you've gone through, right? I call it the exit exam for you to get in this new paradigm, and you have your very first lesson, your very first test. And because it didn't go the way you wanted to go, you over here throwing a pity party, and you're ready to think that everything is the same, that this new journey, the work you've done, the time you've invested into yourself, to healing and to growing, that it was all for nothing. No. I'm not going to give you your $1 million trust fund right away. Okay. I only gave you $500,000 of it. So you can be happy with that. That's what the divine is saying. Like, I'm showing you something. I'm building you up for something, right? So don't think you're going to get it right away, because if I gave it to you right away, you would have messed it up anyway. Because look what happened in the first lesson. Something didn't go right because you weren't ready. You were not ready and prepared for the union you're asking about. A lot of you guys are in the 5D asking for stuff, but in the 3D, you are so tough. You're so resilient in the sense of, like, you come off like you don't need nobody. You come off as if you really don't need a partner. But you get real gullible and real naive and real stupid around suitors that actually mock and they pull on your lower vibrational energies. Spirit is just like, that's the problem. If I have you in a new paradigm and I can literally have your inner demons go and get someone from a lower vibration, from a cycle that you said you've completed, bring them into a new paradigm, and you rather go for them than to go for the new, that lets me know that maybe you're not meant to be in this AP class. Some of you guys are still in a mindset of what you think you want and what you think you like. And some of y'all just saw someone really hooked on complexion of skin. Some of you guys have a skin complex. Some of you guys have this issue with dating someone who is not a certain shade of the rainbow. You guys really need to get over that shit, because your person you're probably meant to be with is probably 9 times out of 10 not the shade of the rainbow that Matrix has programmed you to think that you're going to like. And if they are, kudos to you. But either way, the divine is saying some of these lessons coming in, they're not going to be the shape, that the idolized Barbie and Ken doll that we see on earth regarding what man tells us we need to look for outside appearances. A lot of you guys are missing out on really, really good quality friendships and people because you don't even understand what true beauty is. Okay. Some of you guys are coming out of a paradigm of people who really just misunderstood you or didn't know who you truly were. And you may have to come back in union with some of these people, or they may try to come back in union with you just to kind of check on you, see what you got going on. But the divine says, whoever you are, you know, if this person is coming back to play games and to keep you where you used to be, and to also be nosy and probably go back to, the past people or the past situations y'all used to be tied to gossip and, say, oh yeah, I ran into so-and-so. Oh, I did this with so-and-so. And let me tell you what, just so they can have a heads up on you. Because some of you guys have completely just gone in a new direction with the 6 of Swords out here. And you are being very quiet about how you move, what you do, and who you do it with. And I see somebody from the past that's wanting to come back in and either be nosy and try to see what's going on or try to fit in your new paradigm. Okay. So you'll have to use discernment over if the divine's saying, yeah, this person's meant to be in your life, or no, this is a trick. It's an illusion. Some of you guys just have something new coming in and you are so consumed with not seeing certain things clearly that you may or may not miss this opportunity. So you just have to be mindful of where you are, okay? But I will end it here and just say everyone needs to learn how to speak up within the union within themselves, okay? And I'm going to bring it back to your internal feminine and masculine energy. It is something about your internal feminine masculine energy that is detached from each other, where you guys need to spend more time with each other, need to love on yourself, and need to heal certain dynamics within your inner feminine, inner masculine union, okay? Before you go try to have any relationship with someone else externally. All right, I just saw 2929, so some of you guys may need to look up Angel 29 or 2929. But that is all I have for you, collective. I'm MC5D Astrology and Tarot. Thank you for coming and catching a vibe with your girl. And I look forward to seeing y'all in the next collective reading.